friends, insane persons, and welcome to another episode of Wednesday Whimsy. My name is Kyle, and Wednesday Whimsy is a short show that I do every Wednesday evening, where I talk about a board game, a top 10 list, or some other board game related topic, whatever it happens to be. Well, today's been quite a day. I've had a bunch of people over for games, so I'm a little later than normal, but I'm going to talk to you about a game today, and the game's actually upstairs. I did some moving stuff around, and it wasn't readily apparent where it was when I was ready to start talking, so I don't have it to hold up. But this is a game that I really went on a trip with, and this is Skara Brae. Let me, I can show a picture here. There, you can kind of see it. Now this is, I'm going to tell you, sometimes games, you can tell by looking at them what the game's going to be about. This is absolutely not one of those games. If you were to think that this game is about an Amazon warrior woman, or battle, or somebody throwing a spear, or a spear at all, you would be absolutely wrong. This game, well, it's different than that. Doesn't mean it's bad, doesn't mean it's good. It's just not quite what I expected. And so it took me a while even to kind of get it to the table, because I was like, well, I'm not sure I'm interested in that. But anyway, I'll tell you what it is, what it's about, and my thoughts on it. So Skara Brae is apparently a village in Scotland, and it's kind of a preserved village where I guess there was a bunch of junk that kind of got petrified, and it's a well-preserved kind of medieval, prehistoric village where you can see stuff. And I don't know much about it. I'd like to go and see it now that I've played the game. Board Game Geek, it says about 5,000 years ago, a resilient group of farmers and hunters built a thriving community in something Scotland. Rather than discarding their empty shells, broken tools, bones, and other waste, they used them to form large mounds. And millions of years or thousands of years later, we can dig in there and see kind of what their life was like. So basically, this is a game about storing crap. And that's just kind of what it says. So let's talk a little bit about how it works. At its core, this game is about kind of building an engine and some worker placement, but not really in the classic sense, because each round, you're going to start the game, so you're going to play over the course of 4 rounds. Each round, you're going to get an additional worker. So round 1, you've got 1 worker, then 2, then 3, then 4. And there's going to be sort of sets of cards. This looks like it's a 4-player game, so there's, I guess, 5 cards. And you're going to be choosing when it's your turn. You can either pass. If you pass, it means you get to choose kind of last for this round, but you're guaranteed to pick first for the next round. So you're going to look and see what's available. You're going to take one of these cards, and you're going to play it. There's never a cost to take the card. Many of the cards, like these ones here, they are going to go down below these habitats, these environments, I guess, and you're then going to score a resource based upon how many of that symbol you have. So if I were to take this card here, this wood card, and put it down here under these 1, 2, 3 others, I would get 4 wood. Now, a core mechanism of this game is storing your crap. So you'll see this player here has a board that is full of things, and they only have room for 3 more things. If ever they need to take a 4th thing, that's okay. They're just going to move this slider over, and then they'll have room for it. And you can actually have unlimited crap in this game. But if you have, you're going to, at the end of the round, you're going to take midden, which I think means like poop, but you're going to take basically a worthless resource equal to the number that's shown in this slider. So the more crap you have, the more junk you produce. And it's possible to clean that out, and it's possible to move the slider back. But if you don't, at the end of the game, you'll lose some points for it. You'll always lose points for every one of the midden, which is this green heap-looking thing, and for the number in this slider. So you're going to lose that at the end of the game. After you've taken a card, now most of the cards are going to activate here and give you resources. Others don't give you anything, but could be a roof, which is going to make it easier to feature people. It could be tools, which are going to let you have kind of a cheaper, less crap that you have to get at the end of the round. And then there's also these stone balls that give you another resource. So you're going to take a card, you're going to play it, and everybody kind of does that at the same time. It is in turn order, but the sort of meat of the game is then going to be placing your worker on one of your 10 action spots. Now, everyone starts the game with 9 of the same action spots, and then 1 special action that's going to be unique to you for that game. I think there's 8 or 9, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 of them somewhere in the game that you could pick from, so you'll have a slightly different thing you can focus on. And the different actions are, these ones down here, they're going to be gathering resources. This one up here is going to be moving over this track, and the track's going to let you score. You're going to turn in wool or hides to build a furnishing, and that will score you points at the end of the game for the sets of cards that you have. Or you can go to this trade track where you turn in of a kind, so many things of a kind, and you get whatever bonus is down below it. The two kind of most important ones, other than your special action, are craft, which is going to be to upgrade your tiles. Each tile has a cost on it, and if you pay that cost in a craft action, you'll flip it over, and then it's going to be better. It's also worth 2 points. And then there's also the cook action, and food is important in this game, and cook lets you turn some resources, there's this table down below, in for a combination of food, and then either bones and or hides, depending on what it is. And again, those are just resources you can spend. And the hides, or the food and bones, are used for activating your special resource. So you're going to do this 3 times, and then you're going to look at, if you've upgraded your craft action, you're going to have a free cooking, which you should absolutely do. And then you're going to see how many people you have. That's these people down here. And you're going to have to pay that much food minus 1 for every roof that you have. So having roofs means it's a constant fed. It's a person you can always feed. So having lots of roofs is good, and they're worth points. You're going to do that. I'm just going to keep going. All right. So you'll feed your people, you'll get more workers. At the end of 4 rounds, you're going to score your points. You'll score points based upon the buildings you've upgraded. You're going to you are on these tracks based upon the sets of people you have, the various other cards you've taken. Whoever has the most points, well, that's the winner. And that's kind of how you play. So let's talk about the game. So what makes this special? Well, I really find, it's really an interesting type of a game. The way that I can't really put my finger on it, honestly, but the sort of selection of the cards is fun. It's always one card. It's always free, so you're always able to do it. And then you have this interesting little worker placement puzzle that you're kind of doing on your own. There's no one's going to interfere. People will interfere with you based on the cards you want. That decision of whether to pass or just take your turn, that can be interesting. It's kind of confusingly worded in the book, and it's not that big a deal. I find that you rarely pass unless there's something you really want later. I want to make sure you get it. But the game because another technical glitch, the simultaneous nature of the action selection of the sort of worker placement is really interesting. Nothing's ever blocked. I didn't mention it, but you've got 3 small workers you could eventually have and 1 big worker, and you place the big worker last, and he can go anywhere, even to an occupied spot. So, you can always do one thing twice if you need to. There's just a lot to explore. I really like the special action tiles. Those are going to kind of define your game. They usually have some sort of a modification of a basic action. Like there's one that lets you craft for cheaper and then do the action that you craft. There's one that lets you trade for cheaper. There's one that lets you gives you access to boars. And the boar is going to be a different kind of food conversion. It's a little bit better than everything else. There's one that lets you, you can access wool. You can build spindles, and then you're going to just, have a whole bunch of wool based upon how many spindle cards you've got. And I find that sort of an interesting little small difference, and the best thing about it is they all feel overpowered. You're always going to think what someone else is doing is so much better than what you're doing, and that kind of speaks to the game's balance because it's just really fun to do. It's expensive, but there's a nice little bit of direction you can have. I'll tell you the solo version of this is really good. I have one small qualm about it, and that is that it's difficult to keep track of the cards because with solo you don't set out the rows. you're going to draw 4 cards, pick one, draw 3 cards, pick one, draw 2 cards, pick one. And the way that I figured that out is I'll just make a stack of 4, 3, and 2, and that's what I've got for the round. And then I'll kind of keep track of that, and then I'll be less likely to forget a round or to take an extra round. But the solo's really clean. You just kind of play the game, but you have, I think, 5 goals that you're trying to accomplish. 4 of them, if you use that goal, you don't lose the points for it, but you also get a free bonus action. And one of them is a hard long-term goal, and if you don't achieve it, you lose some points, and you're just trying to hit certain score thresholds. It works really well. It's a great way to kind of learn and play the game. So good solo, interesting gameplay. Not quite like anything else, but also not all that unique. It feels like a lot of other games, but without sort of feeling like you're playing the same game again. The rules themselves, if they're taught to you, are really easy. There's nothing that's weird about this game. But, where's the but? The rules as written are really bad. This game, it is just, I had to reread those rules so many times, and it wasn't until I set it up and just ran through some rounds that it started to click for me what I was doing. Just the way that it is worded in that rule book is so obtuse. I think it is going to be very difficult for somebody who's teaching the game to others to kind of pick it up and learn from the rules. There's nothing hard to pick up about the gameplay, but it just chose to be, it's like a room full of smoke that you're trying to see through. It's very difficult to learn from the rules. Also, this is kind of a complaint as well. These up here are all of the resources in the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 different resources. That's a lot of resources. I had to print a 3D insert for it because having to bag all those things up is just going to be a huge pain. I think there may be too many resources. Some of them you don't really have access to very often, like it's hard to get sheep and these stags. I don't know that they offer that having that as a separate resource is going to really offer that much. I think it really just could have been 2 or 3 fewer. I don't know. I think there might be too many. Also, this mechanism here of storing your crap, that's kind of a special thing. It's kind of the core of the game, and it's kind of fun. However, and it's a big however, it's kind of messy in practice because this is not an indented board, and so this slider will get knocked around. This person has all their resources nicely aligned, but mine are always really sloppy. Sometimes, they might move into each other's space. I just feel like I wish that there had been, maybe I need to 3D print it, but I wish there had been like a little indented board with little slots for everything because it just gets kind of messy, especially when you have a whole bunch of things. I think that's kind of a but. But where do I come out at the game? I really like this. So I've played lots of games, and this game, more than almost any other, really lies about what is in the box. That picture I showed you at the beginning, I can show it again here. Where is she? There's no warrior in this game. I guess there's one that kind of exists behind the scenes that's hunting that stag or whatever, but I really don't think the box art does this game any favors. But the gameplay is really fun, and it's pretty fast because it's simultaneous, and there's just enough there to sort of make you think, I really want to try that again. And every game's going to be a little different. Everything feels nicely balanced. You can kind of focus or you can diversify. There's, a couple of sort of obvious choices, but the rest of it is going to be kind of try and see what you can do. You can easily build up crap, but there's an action that lets you easily clean it up. And it gives you one of those roofs that lets you feed your people more easily. So you don't feel like you're wasting your time cleaning stuff up. It can be a little bit to work through your first time, sort of figuring out what gives you what and how to sort of keep your own little momentum going. But the gameplay is so fun, and it really is one of those games that right after I played it, I was like, let's play that one again. So I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I don't think it's for everybody. I won't tell you to go out and buy it. Definitely try it first, but it really doesn't feel like anything else. And I really like that. So 9 out of 10, Skara Brae, surprisingly good. Go check it out. And with that, I'm going to be bringing this to an end. That is all I've got for you this week. I will be back again next week. I don't know what I'm talking about yet, but probably something. Well, I know what I want to talk about, but I don't know if I'll be ready. Dante Inferno arrived today. I've played it before, but I'm really excited to dive into it. I don't know if I'll be ready to talk about it yet, but someday. Be on the lookout. Bolo? Anyway, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to wish you safe travels, courage when you need it, and I hope to see you back again next time for another episode of Wednesday Whimsy. Bye-bye.